Young Fashion, fashion with a conscience. Young Fashion is a newly established business by the four founders, Gudbrand, our CEO, Jakob Sellebjerg, our CFO, Kasper Kristiansen, our sales manager, and Jakob Larsen, our chief designer. We focus to be the most social responsible company there is, and we do so by protecting the local and global communities and the environment, and we put those values over our own profit. So it is a core value of this business. Furthermore, Young Fashion sells clothes to children aged between 6 and 10 years old, and we primarily do this because they are the future generation of the humankind, and we need to help this generation to become socially responsible and aware of the problems that we face already now. If we move on to our shop, it is only online because we find it the most environmentally friendly solution, and we of course use the most environmental friendly transport vehicles, which primarily is flying. We also do this because flying is the best way for us to be a global company and not just a local one. And in order to move forward as an ethical company, you need to be global and not think only national values. And the global community needs to take action against what is happening all around the world in order to protect the communities, the workers, and the environment. Our code of conduct is therefore an important part of our business. We have strived to be a sustainable company since our foundation in 2014, and we have tried to implement our values in other companies as well, and this includes our code of conduct. In our code of conduct, you will find 10 articles dealing with different subjects. Article 1 is about child labor and how our suppliers aren't supposed to use children under 15 as workers. Article 2 is about fair trade and how our business partners are supposed to pay their workers and their suppliers fair wages for their jobs and not exploiting them. Our next article is about the working conditions in the factories. The working conditions need to be on top and not held alarming or concerning, or otherwise we will cut ties with them, or as we prefer, to help them become a more social aware company that takes responsibility and tries to make the world a better place, as we have always done. Article 4 is about the working hours. No workers associated with our suppliers and their subcontractors must work more than 12 hours on a daily basis, and this includes a break on a minimum duration of 60 minutes. So we have ensured that our workers get a fair rest and a fair pay for their jobs. Article 5 is about the freedom of association. They are fully entitled to join or create unions or associations for workers, so they can build up a strong union to stand against the company, even though it harms our own profit. But again, we prefer to build a local community and help the environment before we put our profit. The next article is about recycling. Our suppliers and business partners must commit themselves to recycle so much as they can, and we encourage them to join global organizations and to help others by recycling their garbage. The next article is about the working community. In order to help the workers for a better standard of life all around the world, we need to build great working communities so they can live with their families and have a job at the same time. The next subject is corruption and how we are supposed to fight it instead of make it grow. And all our manufacturers and business doing business with Young Fashion are required to fight corruption in any way possible. Furthermore, we have declared that they are to sign the declaration against corruption made by the organization called Transparency International. The next one is about harassment. the workers at the factories or manufacturers should not be harassed by their ethnicity or religious affiliation. And the last one is about equality and how the female and male gender is equal in the workplace of the young fashions suppliers and their subcontractors. Furthermore, we perform inspection visits to ensure these demands are followed. If they aren't followed, we will try to help out a plant so they can follow them and become an aware company instead of an exploiting one. And together we can move forward and make the world a better place. If we move on to our CSR policy, you will read that Young Fashion has since its very beginning strived to be a social and environmental friendly company, and we still do so. We want to take a stand. We want to do what's best for the world, and it has always been in our roots and will continue to do so forever as this company is alive. As we said, we want to make a difference and we want to take part in the world, and we hope that other people and other businesses will do as well, because only together we can move forward as a world instead of a divided one. And the last page we have is about why you should choose Young Fashion as a company. Young Fashion is very socially responsible, and this means that we have a brand to protect, and therefore we also extend our demands for not only ourselves but also our suppliers, as you can see in our code of conduct. We demand high quality from ourselves but also our suppliers, and we take a stand to protect what is in this world's best interest. And we have always done this because we believe that only by taking a stand you can make a difference, and we do not want to stand by and watching the world kill itself like other people have. Our competitive advantage is primarily our brand and our quality, and furthermore also our CSR policies, because we are a business in consideration of community and the environment. With this said, it will still be hard to gain success, even though we focus on these things, because we are a small company and we have a small segment which perhaps is growing, but at the time it is still a risk, because we target the aware consumer, as we describe it, and we are not the only one focusing on the CSR policies, and our size limits us in this way, because other companies have larger opportunities to perform their actions and perform their values out in the world, instead of us who need to start from the very beginning, which means it's hard for us to differentiate ourselves from other people's businesses. At last, it is also very much depending on other factors, instead of only our brand and quality, but also investors, the times we live in, and politics, which can be very, very depending on what the situation is at the moment.